You. Look at me, you piece of crap. 94 minutes. 94 freaking minutes you took from me. You come here. Come here, you son of a... Oh. Hello there. I'm Jimmy P. Here with a public service announcement. Kinda. I just recently watched this film from 2013 called Evidence, and supposedly this was a horror movie, or it was being touted as that. Turns out it's just a really long episode of CSI. I don't know how else I could really put that into words, but it was 94 minutes, the longest episode of CSI I've ever watched. This was directed by Otunde Osamunde. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he hasn't done too much work in film. He did make another film that's not so good called The Fourth Kind. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. It had Mila Jovovich in it. It was about alien abduction. Cool concept, poor execution, terrible acting. That's for another day though. So, Evidence. Horrible. So it's about you start out at a crime scene. There's things going on in, like, it has stop motion like pictures, and like you're just getting like frames of what's going on in the investigation. Like you're starting off at the end. Don't get me wrong, that can be done well in a movie, but this is not one of those movies where like they go Tarantino on you and give you the ending and you work your way back to the beginning type stuff. There's this special police unit that has evidence from this major crime that occurred where there's a bunch of dead people killed in various manners. They're at their police crime lab and they're going through the evidence, which is burnt up film footage from phones or from digital cameras or wherever they had. So a group of friends are together celebrating the fact that one of the female stars of the film has like kind of just broken as an actress. They decide they're gonna go on a trip to celebrate what's going on and like see her perform and some other things that are happening. And they rent they take this crazy bus driven by probably the best character in the movie, the bus driver. He has the best lines anyway. He's one of the highlights, probably the only highlight, and I'm being generous here, of the film is the driver. He gets some good lines. He's pretty funny. They get picked up by the driver. They pick up various other passengers that have their own reasons for taking this trip to, I think it's Las Vegas. They end up like getting in, their bus breaks down and they end up stuck like in the middle of nowhere. They go for they get their belongings and that as much as they can carry, and they start walking and they end up finding like this, I guess you would call it like a wreckage yard, salvage yard, something like that. It's got a bunch of dead trucks and things of that nature. They start looking around trying to find a phone or something like that. Phone's cut. Bus guy thinks he has a plan to get the phone working and call for help. The killings then start beginning from there. There's a serial killer there, supposedly, something like that. There's a serial killer there who happens to be fond of using blowtorches and fire, I guess, as their preferred method of killing. And he or she makes himself known and begins killing the bus passengers one by one, and you would think pretty gruesome fashion, but a lot of it's off screen. There's a couple of on-screen terrible CGI. The one kill that was interesting, I'll have to say, that I really thought had potential, and I thought they shot it pretty well actually, was the killer ends up getting somebody and saw torching them like first like holds them down and just starts torching into their arm, and you can kind of see it on camera, but it's dark, and this stuff's all like POV, found footage style, so it's grainy and dark, and you can just kind of see the blowtorch lit up, and you can tell that she's getting her shoulder just burned into until her arm comes off, and then like he pushes her down, and then did I say he? Because that could be she. CSI. Anyways, so this stuff starts popping off. The killer's killing these guys. The police that are going through the footage are trying to eliminate the suspects. And they have the typical archetypes of the police show cop format. You have the cop that's emotionally scarred because they had a personal tragedy. In this case, this guy's daughter was abducted and killed. So his motivations are, you know, he's a broken man trying to get back on, you know, the righteous path. Then you have the lady detective who is overzealous into her job, and then as soon as one or two little pieces of evidence show up that could possibly lead to a suspect, boom, they're guilty, let's go get them. And then you have the computer whiz guy with the quirky one-liners. Oh, you know, the popcorn's hot, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's all there. If you're a fan of those television shows, you are gonna freaking love this. If you're a horror movie fan and you were duped into thinking this was a horror movie, you might be a little upset. They're going through the evidence, eliminate the suspects. The gore here is subpar. A lot of computer generated stuff, a lot of just like bloody people walking around or coughing up blood. You know, you got the bloody handprints that you might see on the trailer, which I'm not gonna give to you. I will not make you suffer, because I'm a good guy. Every person that they look into turns out to not be the one that committed the crime. Typical Hollywood swerve at this time. The killer ends up being one of the people that was on the bus, and also another one that was the accomplice. They fooled the police, ha ha ha, still on the loose. The footage was released to the media. I don't really want to talk about the plot too much more. If you're really curious, or if you're a fan of CSI, you should watch it, you'll like it. Most of the acting, other than the bus driver, terrible. Music was not memorable. The reveals and like the plot twists that they do make absolutely no sense as you go further into the film. The reveal really upset me when we got to that part, because they don't even explain. You know what? Screw this. Spoilers. I don't care about the spoilers here. They reveal that these had all been edits by the two chicks who had come together and kind of brought the group together, and that they had made the movie, and that one of them was doing they were taking turns as the blowtorch killer and killing these people. When they show a scene of one of the chicks walking out and getting blowtorched, then they show it from a different angle in night vision where you see the blowtorch get her arm cut off, then the blowtorch her leg off, and then she gets started on fire. Well, you know, there's a body there that, you know, the crime scene people found. Now, you go to the end and you see her alive and well, but they don't explain how the heck she's there and survived all that, or who was the person that got burned up. Now, I realize that they are like, oh, these are all edits, and that the killers just made this movie, and that could be fake. But come on, give me a little bit more cohesiveness here. I was just like, how the frick is she there when I watched her get blowtorched? They don't even explain how they did that, if that was fake. It's just like the director was like, ha ha! Well, guess what? Joke's on you. Garbage. That kind of stuff permeates this film. Like, you'll wanna, like, the mysteries don't go nowhere. They're just not interesting, I guess. That's the best way I can describe it. Not interesting. This is just like a big episode of a TV show. Like, I can't believe this went to theaters. This was television quality. I've seen television shows that have more gore than what you get in this movie. And, like, on the back it says, action, violence, and gore. Not true. Not true. I'm sorry. I really don't like being negative on the channel, but this is a movie that I need to bring to your guys' attention so you don't make the same mistake that I did. Unless, of course, you're a fan of CSI, then once again, you. Anyways, thanks a lot for checking out this rant. Hope it's useful to you guys in making good movie selections. If you ever come across this, just pass it by. It's very laughable. The director is very confident. Another thing I want to say is that, like, you're gonna see a lot of this, like, camera angle where it's just doing 360 zooms, and the director, like, it was like he had a new toy that he wanted to use, and, like, there are so many scenes of this, like, rotating camera angle. Like, I swear there's at least 5 or 6 scenes with multiple angles from the police office where it's just circle and, like, everybody's at a computer acting all busy. It's ridiculous. So over dramatic. Thanks for checking out the video. If you like the content we're putting out here, you can help us out by hitting that subscribe button, liking it, sharing with your friends. All that stuff really helps out the channel. Also, we're on Amino. Feel free to drop by and say hello. We got a great community growing over there, and we'd love to have you. For Rotted Peach Productions, I'm Jimmy P. Happy October, and I'll see you later.